welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is a Tuesday, which means it's time for Magic News. Very, very exciting Magic News. So what is Magic News all about? Well, basically, every single week, I come to you with all of the latest things that are happening in the Magic community. I talk about rumors, I talk about gossip, I talk about news items, I talk about new releases, basically keeping you up to date with what's happening. Now, I am filming this on New Year's Eve, and there ain't much happening between Christmas and New Year. There is a few things happening, but not as much. However, there is one massive thing that has turned the Magic community inside down, upside down, and back again. We're going to lead with that news item. Let's get into it. This is Magic News. So the first big thing that we have to talk about is Inject, or Enhanced Inject, Inject 2, whatever you want to call it. Now, for those of you that have been living under a rock and don't know what Inject is, for anybody who uses apps in Magic, for anybody who does tech Magic, there's certain things, there's certain apps that a lot of people use as kind of a go-to. And Inject by Greg Rostami is one of those apps. Now, Inject came out many, many years ago. A lot of people have done it. And Inject 2.0, or Enhanced Inject, came out a year or so ago and kind of took the whole thing to an entire other level. Now, there's been some big developments with Inject, but for those of you that don't know what Inject is, maybe you don't do app Magic. Basically, Inject allows you to pair, the original Inject basically allowed you to pair your phone with a spectator's phone. So, you could be in control of what they're searching for on Google. You go onto their phone, you do something, and then that basically gives you access to a fake Google screen, and you're able to get all sorts of information and kind of push them in various different directions. It's used by a lot of people, and a lot of apps actually have integration built into Inject. Now, Mark Kirkstein and Greg Rostami have basically been leading the way with this style of app where you're kind of pairing a spectator's phone temporarily with your phone. Anybody who knows, WikiTest, for example, by Mark Kirkstein will know that that kind of does a similar sort of thing in a way, in that the phone pairs together a completely different sort of presentation, but it's that sort of thing. Now, me personally, I don't really use apps like that. The apps I tend to use, things like Toxic Plus and Digital Force Bag and things like that, where there's no pairing between the spectator's phone and my phone, but a lot of people use apps like this all of the time. There's a lot of tech magicians that go out there that rely on this, because like I said, there's a lot of apps that have integration with Inject. So, for example, some of the new French Twins products, like Icons. Icons, you can do the basic Icons presentation with their app, but it relies on Inject to kind of push the information over into Icons. So you can do stuff without Inject, but Inject kind of takes the product and takes it to a whole other level. So Inject 2 or Enhanced Inject came out recently, and that allows you to get even more information. It allows you, for example, to get access to the spectator's date of birth. So you can literally pull the spectator's date of birth off their phone and have access to it. So you can do like star sign readings and so on and so forth. So why am I bringing all this up? Everyone knows about Inject. Well, a couple of days ago, Greg Rostami announced to the entire world that Inject, every version of it, is down, and it's not working. Not on iOS, not on Android. It's just not working at all. There is no way to be able to use Inject. Now, the reason for this, and I don't really want to get into the technical side of things too much for a couple of reasons, one of which is this is meant to be kind of a quick and snappy news thing, but second of all, I don't really fully understand it myself. But the main reason is Google are, have stopped them from using the server that everything is kind of hosted on, as far as I believe. And Greg and his team are trying to communicate with Google in order to get Inject back up and running. Now, here's the thing. Greg is telling people not to panic. And Greg is telling people, hey, we're communicating with Google. It might be a simple fix. We just need to know where Google's head is with this. And he's also been saying that he's got backups and he's got alternative things that he can do, and even if it doesn't come back up with Google, he's going to be able to get it up within the next week or so. So he has plans, and he's probably rushing around. I can only imagine how stressed out Greg Rostami is right now, because this is kind of his main thing. This is his big thing. And people are going all over the internet, on Facebook, on Reddit, on the Magic Cafe, anywhere where people can post a thought. People are talking about, hey, this isn't fair. I know people are saying, hey, I want to get my money back for Inject. Can I get my money back? People are like, if I've bought the trick, it doesn't matter how long ago I bought it. If it's not fit for purpose, then surely I should get my money back, which I personally don't agree with. It's like, I had a load of coin gimmicks made up in old style coins. When the government decided to stop those coins from being used and upgraded them to different coins, I didn't go back to my magic shop and go, hey, I want my money back for this coin. It doesn't work anymore. So I don't agree with that, but people are panicking all over the internet. There's a lot of people that are stressing out. I saw one post from one guy saying that he feels like he needs to quit as a full-time magician because Inject was like 50% of his acts, and without doing that, he's not going to be able to do his shows that he's been booked for. Inject was a massive part of his shows. The entire infrastructure of all of his shows based around Inject. And people are panicking. People are worried. There's memes going out there saying, hey, it's the end of Inject. So I can only imagine that Greg Rostami is super, super, super stressed out at the moment. He's probably trying desperately to fix it. A million things are going through his mind. I can only imagine the amount of communication he's getting from magicians about this. My take on it, I don't really know fully. It's not really affected me, so I'm not really that bothered from my personal point of view. But what I would say is, I think there is a little bit of an over-reliance of technology these days in the magic world. I think that a lot of people, I know a lot of professional magicians, and everything they do is tech-based. And I don't think that's good. I don't think that's a situation we should get ourselves into. I've always believed that if there's something that I do that's electronic, that requires electronics, I need to have an out. I need to have a way of doing it that doesn't involve electronics. If you look at Ryland's Harry Potter act, it's got some candles that you have to light up with remote controls. But if they don't work, I've got a solution. I've got another way around it, right? So I think that's important. And I would encourage people not to panic, because we don't know what's going on yet. It's probably worth having a conversation about, because honestly, there's a lot, I know when Advanced Inject, before it got launched, there was a lot of people stressing and moaning about the legalities of taking information from people's phones. And I know initially you were able to take credit card numbers and so on and so forth, and that changed over time. But, the magic community is such a small percentage of what's going on for Google. I can only imagine that if they found out what Inject was being used for, they wouldn't understand it and they wouldn't like it. And if you try to explain, but magicians use it to do magic tricks, I don't think they care. So I don't know. Could we see the end of Inject? Possibly. I think that if Greg's got anything to do with it, I don't think that'll be the case. I think he's going to be moving hell and high water to try and get it up and running. And it shows how successful a product he's built, that so many people are worried about it. So many people are stressing about it because it's going away. And I think part of the problem was it just happened suddenly overnight. Like, there were people that were posting saying, hang on, I've got a show tomorrow and I'm using Inject in the show, and I have to use Inject in the show. The show's all planned out. It needs to happen at this point. Everything's timed to music and I can't do it. Oh my God, what am I going to do? This is a nightmare. This is a problem. So I think because it was so sudden, I think that's what's stressing out a lot of people. My attitude is let's just wait and see. Greg is obviously going to want to get things up and running. He's a smart guy. He's been doing this for a long time. But at the moment, when it comes from a news point of view, people are worried. People are nervous. And it's a whole new debate about, what should you... What am I trying to say here? There's a debate raging in the internet right now about whether... a lot of people are saying that apps potentially are dying out, or people aren't going to be using apps anywhere near as much, because you can never guarantee that an app will run forever. So you buy it, and and I had that. I spent a lot of money a long time ago on a trick called I Unlock Your Mind, and I used it for a while and really enjoyed using it. And then all of a sudden, one day, it just went up in smoke. I couldn't use it anymore. It was gone. And I had to pay for it again in order to get it. And I was like, nope, not going to happen. That happened with The Stranger. I had The Stranger, liked it, did it a few times. And then when I was told I had to pay again, nope, not going to happen. And you never know when these apps are going to stop working. You know, it could happen at any point. People could withdraw access to them. You know, they're completely out of your control. And that's the debate that's raging. And maybe I'll do another video about that at some point in the future. But, you know, let's get your viewpoint. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so good news for Vanishing Incorporated. Vanishing Inc, Joshua J, Andy Gladwin, George Luck. The session is almost sold out, according to the socials on Vanishing Inc. The Session Convention 2024 has almost sold out. And I have heard a rumor, I don't know if this rumor is true, I don't know if it's not true, and it is completely just a rumor that's been given to me by 4 or 5 people. I do not know if this is fact or not, but I heard a rumor that Vanishing Inc are potentially not going to be at Blackpool this year. Now that baffles the mind, that boggles the mind as far as I'm concerned, because Vanishing Inc are huge. They're one of the biggest companies in the world when it comes to magic, and the Blackpool Magic Convention is the largest magic convention in the world. For them not to be there, that'd be really weird. They're kind of like part of the furniture in that place. I can't imagine that that's true, but that's a rumor that I've heard. But if it is true, the only place you're going to be able to hang out with Vanishing Inc and buy all of their new stuff is at the Session Convention. There are very few tickets left, so if you are going to the session, make sure you go check out the Vanishing Inc booth, because they are going to have some great stuff this year. Talking about Vanishing Inc, they have just released on YouTube, and you can go and watch the whole thing on YouTube. It's about an hour long. You can go and watch Vanishing Inc's annual letter. So every single year, at the end of every year, Josh J and Andy Gladwin, the founders of Vanishing Inc, they do an annual letter where they talk about stuff that's happened over the course of the year, what's good and what's bad and what's coming, and so on and so forth. And it's a really great video to watch, and I've watched it and I found it very interesting, like I do every year. And I'm not going to go through everything, because I think you should go and watch it yourself. Go on YouTube and go check it out. Josh and Andy are doing a good job. They really are. Vanishing Inc is such a great brand. And, you know, some of the things that I picked up on from watching their annual letter is there's a Tim Conover book coming soon this year. They're going to be releasing a Tim Conover book, which is absolutely fantastic. They did an interview with Carissa Hendricks, Carissa from, obviously, I did the Penguin Holiday Live with Carissa and Eric, and Carissa is amazing. Lucy Darling is wonderful, and Carissa's such a great person. And Carissa was on the annual letter, chatting to people live, talking about an upcoming release she's got coming out with Vanishing Inc soon, which is her version of the linking finger rings, using a Himba finger ring that she designed herself. Now, I was fortunate enough to see this at Magic Live, and it's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Best linking rings routine there is, hands down. Linking finger rings routine there is, sorry. If you don't do a linking finger rings routine, it's absolutely amazing. So Carissa was on there. They also spent a long time talking about charitable work. I didn't know Vanishing Inc did so much for charity. I know they did stuff for young magicians, but they do a lot for charity as well. They've got this this thing called Preserving Magic, where they set up regularly magic camps in Uganda and Ukraine, and they teach the kids magic, and they give them magic sets, and they've got this other thing called Share Magic. Share Magic is the summer camps, is the camps in Uganda and Ukraine. Preserving Magic is where they're going into kind of maybe third world countries where the art of magic is dying out a bit because it's not being handed down to the next generation, and they're going in and preserving the secrets and preserving magic. You know, it just shows how much Andy and Josh care about magic. I know I Josh with them sometimes. You know, I joke with them sometimes, and I talk about how it's all about the money. And look, they're business owners at the end of the day. Vanishing Inc needs to make a penny. They need to make a profit. They really do. You know, if they didn't make money, then there wouldn't be a Vanishing Inc, right? But the fact is, they do so much for young magicians. They do so much for charity that, you know, it just shows how much they love magic and how much they care about magic. So, yeah, if you want to check out what's coming, I mean, I just went through a couple of highlights. There's a lot more that they talk about. If you want to know it all, then go onto Vanishing Inc's YouTube channel and go and check out their annual letter 2024. It's about an hour long, and there are special guests. Okay, let's talk about a couple of new releases. You know, not many people bring stuff out between Christmas and the New Year. Obviously, the Penguin Magic Holiday Special dropped with me and Eric and Carissa, and it's had over 32 five-star reviews on Penguin right now. So if you haven't seen it, you can go and download it. It's still free at the moment. I don't know how much longer it's going to be free for. And, you know, people are loving it. And for everybody who said nice things about the special, thank you so much. If you've watched it and you haven't left a review yet, please go and leave a review. It would be amazing. I know Carissa and Eric love reading the reviews, as do I. So if you get a chance, leave a review. That'd be wonderful. That is the Penguin Holiday Special. Couple of things that I've seen come out. There's not much getting released between Christmas and the New Year, but Penguin have announced a hot rod pen, which is like a pen that's also a hot rod. And they say this is an older item that they're bringing back out again. It's an interesting concept. You talk about everyday carry. Hot rod is a great thing. I still think Sticks by Eric Stevens and Alakazam is the quintessential best product ever when it comes to hot rods. But having a hot rod built onto a pen, so you can have the pen in your pocket and you can go and do hot rod anytime, anywhere, that's a really smart idea. I quite like that as an idea. And if you've never done hot rod, it's one of those tricks that people buy and they do when they first get into Magic and then they forget about it. Hot rod's amazing. It really is. So you've got the hot rod pen that's come out. That's very inexpensive. They've also announced their next Penguin Live. I'm so glad the Penguin Lives are back. They're killing it with the Penguin Lives. Rick Mao has just been announced as the next Magic Penguin Live, and he's going to be doing a Penguin Live all about character, intention, and meaning. I encourage you to go look at the trailer. The trailer is incredible. It got me super excited about it. This is going to be very interesting. It's going to be a lecture all about character and your intention behind the character and the meaning behind the character and how to create a character and make your magic more meaningful. He's obviously teaching tricks. There's an open prediction that looks amazing on the trailer. He's teaching tricks, but he's teaching tricks to illustrate his points when it comes to teaching about character. So for all of those people that have come on this channel and asked about characterization and how to create a character, I think this is probably the Penguin Live that you want to go and check out. Also, Vanishing Inc. Talking about Vanishing Inc. a lot this week, right? Vanishing Inc. have announced a Founders Bundle where it's a downloadable deal that's meant to be £120. They've discounted it down to £48. And it's basically a ton of downloads from Joshua J. and Andy Gladwin, and they've discounted it right down, and it's a ton of downloads from Andy and Josh. And I went through them and looked at them. I was aware of a lot of these downloads. Oh my God, I can't believe they've put this out so cheaply. If you don't know most of the stuff in this Founders Bundle, it would probably be worth picking up. My highlight from Joshua J was Waltzing Cheek to Cheek. I love Waltzing Cheek to Cheek. It's one of my favourite uses of a Cheek to Cheek deck. It's not a normal Cheek to Cheek deck. It's a double-faced Cheek to Cheek deck. So it's very different to what I did with the Cheeky project. But he's combined it with an anniversary waltz. And the idea is absolutely genius. Josh is a genius. It's as simple as that. And my highlight from Andy was the Master Push-Off. Now, he brought out the Master Push-Off project years ago. And it's a way of doing a flawless double lift. And he's got a technique to basically push off a flawless double every single time. And he goes through in excruciating detail, explaining every single aspect of it. It's very, very, very good. And those were just two of the things in there. There's probably about 10 or 15 items altogether. Well worth checking out. £48, Founders Bundle. You can go check that out. There wasn't really anything else that I saw that has been released, but I guarantee there's going to be a ton of stuff coming in January. Again, I can't stop talking about Vanishing Inc. Talking about Vanishing Inc., they have got a free thing up on their site right now. So if you haven't seen it, you can go and get it for free. They've got a free holiday gift. Joshua J. performing routines from the particle system to a live audience. If you don't know, Josh brought out the particle system earlier this year in around about November, December, and it's had rave reviews. It's his version of the memorized deck. And there is a full performance video of him performing to lay people, and you normally can only see this if you watch the project, but Josh has got Vanishing Inc. to give this away free as a holiday gift. So you can sit back, relax, and go and sit down and watch Josh do what he does best. Look, I think that Andy is a great performer. I think that I've seen him perform many times. He always does a great job. But Josh is just at another level. He's one of the best magicians and performers in the world, as far as I'm concerned. And anytime you get a chance to see him perform live, it's a masterclass in its own right. So you can go and, if you've got a particle system or not, you can download this free performance right now. I don't know how long it's free for. It says limited time. But right now you can add it to your account. It won't cost you anything, and you can start watching it straight away. We're almost done. A couple of more things. First of all, big congratulations to Chris Cox and Steve Della, two powerhouse mentalists that have been around in this industry for a very long time, who have just been awarded a gold star at the Magic Circle. Now, if you don't know, and you're not a member of the Magic Circle, there's kind of 4 degrees or 4 levels at the Magic Circle. First of all, you've got the apprentice level. That's where you're waiting to get in. You're not officially a member. You're kind of working towards becoming a member. Then you've got the member of the Magic Circle, or the MMC, which is what the majority of people are. Then you've got the inner Magic Circle. You've got AIMC, which is the associate of the inner Magic Circle. You get a silver star with that. And you can get into AIMC either through performance or a variety of different things. You have to apply, right? And you get judged. And it's very difficult. There's very few people that are AIMC. And then you have MMC, member of the Magic, the MMMC or something like that. Basically, it's the gold star version of the inner Magic Circle. Now, very few people get to this level, and you can't apply for it. You can't be judged for it. You can't take an exam for it. It's at the president's discretion. Mr. Marvin Berglas currently is the president of the Magic Circle, and it's at his discretion, and he can award a gold star to anybody. And it's normally people who he feels have done amazing things for the Magic community, and they've really given back or shown incredible performing skill or something. It's really down to the president. And the president has announced that Chris Cox and Steve Della are the 2 newest people to receive a Gold Star award and get into the inner Magic Circle with a Gold Star. Now, Steve has been trying to, or wanting to get to this level for a very long time. Chris and Steve, congratulations on being Gold Star members and being in a very exclusive club in the Magic Circle. Okay, final piece of news is, for anybody in the UK, it's worth noting that Assy Wynn's show, Incredibly Human, ends on January the 5th. It's been running for the last few months. It's had rave reviews. It's picked up numerous awards, and I never got a chance to see it, unfortunately, but from everybody I've spoken to, this show is incredible. I'm not surprised. Assy Wynn is an absolute powerhouse of a performer, but everything must come to an end eventually. All good things, come to an end. And unfortunately, this show must end on the 5th of January. So you're going to be watching this, I don't know, maybe the 31st of December. If you want to see this show, you've got 5 days. You've got until Sunday to go check it out, and then it's gone, okay? So if you're anywhere near London, if you're around the London area, or you want to catch a train down to London and you want to go check out an amazing show, then please do so. Go check out Incredibly Human by Assy Wynn. It's had rave reviews. So there you go, guys. That's another Magic News. Thank you once again for joining me right here at Magic TV. I'll be back next week with another news show. We'll be back at the normal time of 9 o'clock. The Christmas programming has changed things around an awful lot, but we'll be back to normal, 9 o'clock. Next Tuesday. Thank you once again for joining me. Thank you once again for supporting the channel. Thank you once again for being part of the Magic TV family. Really appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing new year, whatever you end up doing. If you've got a gig, if you're going to a party, whatever it is, I hope you have a fantastic time. I'll be performing with Matt, Nemid, Ryland and Thea. And that sounds like a good evening to me. But I hope you guys have a great time. Thank you so much for joining the channel. Don't forget, if you want to become a Netrix member, you can do so by going to www.thenetrix.com. It's my online streaming platform for magicians. Outside of that, I'll see you again soon. My name's Craig, and this is Magic News at Magic TV.